Well, the volatility in the oil and gas sector, especially crude oil, has affected every facet of life. For inflation numbers, a headline from January till now has been staying revolving around 15%, in excess of that slightly marginally. But food inflation, for instance, has gone by 100% from about 8% in January to about maybe 16, 17%. But that's not the focus. The focus is one of the biggest drivers of anything is PMS, is crude oil by extension. I know the war in Iran has affected us one way or the other, but we may not have dealt with availability of product, but we're dealing with affordability. Yesterday, I went to the fuel station to fill my car, and I was surprised. We've gone back to, I bought it, I think, 1,250 naira when I was seeing it coming down. So what exactly is going on? There's a back and forth between the Dangote refinery and those who lift product from its depot. Since it changed to sell this thing in dollars. So we want to understand what exactly is going on. Let's bring in our guest, Mr. Gillis-Harry. Is the president of Petran, joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Good to see you in studio.
Thank you so very much. Good to see you. You look very handsome too.
Thank you.
Abukola, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, Nigeria, and thank you for having me.
Mr. Gillis-Harry, what exactly is going on? People like Bukola have been at the vanguard of ensuring that, because I used to make a case and said, when it's high margin, high volume, tight margin, and then when it went to almost $120, we saw astronomical rise in the price of PMS. So when it came down to 70 or close to 70, we didn't see the commensurate reduction in price. While we're trying to argue about that, the price have gone up again and everything. Explain to us what is going on vis-a-vis what is playing out between the Dangote refinery and those of you who lift the product.
Well, I don't think we should just be that direct and specific to just Dangote refinery. It's a global situation. It's a global challenge that's affecting everybody. But I do know that this is Nigeria.
Mr. Gillis, my apologies. I understand we need to get a few technical things sorted out, but we'll be right back with you. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We have Mr. Gillis-Harry, the president of Petran. We're talking about what's playing out that the price, besides the geopolitics that's playing out in Iran and Israel and the US, we have our own local problem here that has to do with selling the petroleum product in dollars. On the other hand, whether or not the retailers this time are lifting product. Mr. Gillis-Harry, we read the papers where there's been a back and forth about lifting products in the refinery. Help us explain what's going on.
Well, what's going on is that we have a situation, I wanted to situate it properly because pricing challenges is not just local. It's a global, it's an international issue. There are a lot of international components that make it, that way. When the prices went up to $100 and above, because prices reflected. When crude oil prices came down, don't forget that in that same Strait of Hormuz, the number of vessels that were passing through were very few. And most of the vessels that passed through there were already laden with crude oil that was purchased at $100 and something. So that fact is never being discussed, and that obviously will affect you. So the challenge is not just only in Nigeria. I'm sure you heard President Donald Trump talking about retail outlets, discussions and pricing, and you also saw President Putin of Russia. So two world powers all talking about petrol price and retail outlets also became a discourse. So Nigeria was not going to be an exception. Incidentally, what Nigerians will want to know at all times is what's going to be beneficial to them. And I do understand that and really would like that to be the situation if all things were normal and everything was going well. All things would have been normal if we had multiple refineries refining different kinds of refined products. In this case now, we are now boxing into just one refinery that is refining. And we are talking about, supplementing the product availability by importation, and that also is having some kind of, disagreements from the same quarters. So for us as retail outlet owners, we are the ones who are the last end of the value chain of distribution. We are the most critical last mile, and we do the best we can to ensure that we serve Nigerians effectively and efficiently, because that is our covenant. When I became president in 2020, that was what I swore to, and my members and those who lead in this sector have, consistently kept that vow. But our situation is, we buy, we sell. So we can only we can only sell what we buy. And we can only sell at the price that is convenient, not so convenient for us, because I would be happy if our margins were far higher than what we're getting. But we're getting margins, imagine investing money to buy a product at 1,200 naira, and then you're having just a margin of about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 naira. And then you now talk about the cost of logistics. Thank God that NATO is always there listening to us and cooperating with us. NUPENG and PTD always there, ready to serve and collaborate with us and ensure that Nigerians have product. So then suddenly we have our massive refinery infrastructure, changing prices at will, and we are not so bothered about that because it's a deregulated economy. But the changes, even in pricing, whether it's going up or it's coming down, ordinarily supposed to be what should be accommodated within the stakeholder community, focusing on the benefit of Nigerians, on the benefit of the ordinary man on the street. Because regardless of what we sell, it comes back to us. We also buy in the same market. We also pay the same transportation. So we don't always have the privilege of having our own cars to ride. And even if we have to drive our own car, we will still also buy fuel from another retail outlet that's different from our own retail outlet. So the situation we have now is where suddenly one morning we woke up and found instructions not to pay for products in Nigerian naira. And that, personally, I find very difficult to understand, and I consider it a little bit of a absurd decision, business decision that is made. Because when the depot owners, where we now buy our products from, go to the refinery to buy products in the US dollars, are you expecting them to sell in Nigerian naira? Because they must struggle to get the dollars to buy. We do not have, we don't print dollars in Nigeria. And central bank is not there all the time to give us dollars to buy whatever we want. If we wanted to do that, then if that was available, then we would have been importing products or buying different kinds of things and be able to help us do our business even more efficient, because we know that there are countries, there are businesses, there are traders willing to give product to us, especially petrol, that we can negotiate. But we don't have access to funds. So now, the depot owner
when you
buys
say funds, you mean foreign exchange?
Foreign exchange, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the depot owners are going to sell, and then, God forbid, that they also come up with the same decision to say, okay, look, we bought in dollars, we want to sell it. So, if that happens, and we also go and struggle to get dollars to buy product from the depot owners, then we're also not going to be selling naira. So that means one single action has dollarized the whole economy of Nigeria. And so these are some of the things I thought that should be considered by any one of us in the value chain distribution, whether they are refiners or they are importers or they are depot owners or they are logistics companies or they are marketers or they are retail outlet owners. Right. So we all need to be able to do what will be able to help to work with. So the scenario, just 1 minute, the scenario is We want to patronize Dangote refinery because it's a very big blessing for us as a country. It has created that very critical need of availability. But affordability is also very, very critical. And that, I believe, can always be done by stakeholder discussions and looking at the Nigerian public as the ultimate beneficiary. While we make our little profit and then continue, because we can't sell at a loss, just to make it clear to you.
Well, Mr. Gillis-Harry, so many questions in my head, but look, why is the oil and gas sector in this part of the world such a complex and complicated sector? Is this how it is in other parts of the world? Because for many Nigerians, what we hear and see, oh, there's a cabal even in this, the oil and gas sector. Nigerians see Dangote as perhaps the messiah who has made products available. And they point at you marketers and say you are the ones causing the problem. So I'm happy that perhaps from your own standpoint, you're explaining what the issues are. But so, if I may ask you, do you think the government needs to step in and perhaps regulate? Because perhaps these are the fears some of you were having in terms of the Dangote refinery, the fears of that monopoly. Is this what you were perhaps really concerned about when you marketers were calling for caution some months back? And then if we continue on this trajectory, I'm just wondering, are we going to get fuel at perhaps 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira? Because the war is continuing. This is day 10, and US is still striking Iran. So if that continues, I wonder what you think, or what price you think Nigerians are going to buy a liter of petrol.
Let me clarify something very clearly, because in the social media, in the different kinds of media, you keep hearing cliches like cabal in the oil industry. And I've been in the industry long enough to know that there's no such thing in the terms and in the way it is being described. There could be cabals that will be doing their own mafia things in the way they're doing. But in this sector, what is the cabalism about here? Is it that if I buy product at 1,200 naira, it is not advertised? It is known that this is what a retail outlet owner bought products. The cost of logistics varies because of distance and conditions on our road. So that is a little bit, dicey. The price of making sure that the overheads in any retail outlet is very functional is also clear. So there is nothing to cabal about. I'm more than happy to, the happiness we have in Petron is that we want to buy products, we want to buy quality products, we want to distribute quality products, we want to measure 1 liter for 1 liter, and we want to be able to sell as fast as we can. So that the more volume we can sell, the more we can be stable in our business. So marketers, as you call every one of us marketers, this is another issue. We are retail outlet owners. We are not retailers. We are retail outlet owners. Okay. And all licenses given to us.
I was going to ask, what's the difference?
Yeah, well, the difference, the marketer necessarily can just be a freelance marketer. A retail outlet owner cannot be in business if you don't have a retail outlet that is licensed by NMDPRA. And the process to get a license done is enormous. That's why Petron members cannot in any way mess up, because we have access to protect. But somebody who is a marketer that is just, maybe doing a brokerage will just do his business the way he wants to do. So we have something to protect. That's why we are retail outlet owners, and we have an association that is helping to be able to regulate even ourselves, so that we do not do anything that is going to be against this. And of course, we are very free to allow NMDPRA to work with us, to inspect us, FCCPC to work with us. So our pricing, everything we can do. So how can cabal be there? So I think that is a word that is used to just deflect the realities on ground. And I believe that now that is clear to you. What it is that we want to buy product from Dangote and want to patronize it because that is a saving grace for Africa. In fact, even for the world. Because just imagine that we have another 3 or 4 refineries like that in Nigeria. Look at the size of unemployment that will go out of Nigeria and the kind of businesses that will be done. Because refined product, anywhere there's a filling station in this country, go and check. Very soon you see everybody using gas. Those who have been using firewood and different things will suddenly retreat and be using gas because there's a filling station there. So filling station is also a parameter for development and a civilization that is there, which is not even being discussed. And that is the kind of job that we do in Petron. So be rest assured that we do not have a cabal and we do not intend to have one. We don't even put our prices together like, okay, we must have to sell like this. We do what the market determines.
All right, so we can fairly say from what you have said that because of the decision of Dangote to begin pricing petrol in dollars, marketers are kicking from what you have said, and they're threatening not to load from Dangote and asking for federal government intervention. So that is no longer in the realm of speculation. That is actually the case as we are now in petrol pricing. I want you to confirm that before
but the thing is, there's been suspension of sales over the course of the last 6 days.
By
Dangote.
Okay.
Because nobody's finding dollar to buy.
Okay.
So whether we are protesting or not, we've never carried placard on the road to protest because it's our business.
Okay.
It's his business, by the way, and he has to run it efficiently the way he wants. But if I always said this, if I have a refinery, I'll be the one looking for retail outlet owners to work with. I'll be the one looking for depot owners to work with. I'm not going to make it difficult for anybody in the stakeholder value to be there. In fact, the fact that I have a humongous investment of that magnitude, that refinery must work. Imagine 6 days no sale.
But can you say categorically that all marketers, all petroleum marketers are not buying from Dangote?
We have not bought product in the last 6 days.
Who are we? Is it just Petron?
For all of us. Well, for Petron, we have not. My members have not bought.
Okay, but you can't say that all marketers in Nigeria, Morman, Ipman, you can't say all of them have not bought from Dangote.
But
you can speak for yourself.
I'm just giving you information in the industry.
Oh, but you can speak.
Petron is an amalgam of all the we are the grassroots.
Okay, but it's a possibility that some other marketers are buying from Dangote as we speak.
Well, take it from me that in the last 6 days, there's been no purchase of PMS.
From all these categories that I have listed.
I've just told you, I don't want to, but I'm just trying to tell you information.
I just want it to be clear. So let me now proceed with my other question, which would be, what happened to import licenses that marketers were advocating for? Because I know that you have also said that there should be import licenses as well, such that we do not have, a situation where one, particular refiner monopolizes the market. So what happened to import licenses that marketers were advocating for at a particular point in time? Because there were reports that in spite of the fact that we have achieved a healthy refining domestic capacity, that petrol was still being imported into the country.
Well, let me situate this properly so that we do not, just ask questions on speculative basis. Now, if I have 650,000 barrels of crude oil refining capacity, and I have it, and I'm doing just say 80% installed capacity, can you imagine the size of refined product that is going to come out of that? I should be rushing to sell to everybody at a price that's affordable. That's the price because it's a volume-driven business. And then also have the opportunity to export, which is what, because Dangote Refinery is actually in an export processing zone. And that's one point that is so salient, because it's also exporting. All right? Now, we have the refining capacity that's been done. And then we are not able to have products in the frequency and the size that we want. what will you do? If those small imports were not coming, we could have also run into difficulties. So what we want to state clearly is that Dangote refinery himself is exporting product to the US. At least you read about one cargo. You also read about its exportation to Saudi Arabia. So imagine the size of refining in these countries. Its export did not disrupt the business there. So what is the difficulty?
So let's put it. I want us to posit the challenge you've identified. So if we're wrong, you help us understand it. Now that there's no sale, is it a question of price? That's one question. Is it a question of price or the availability of dollars to be able to purchase from him? That's one question in one. Second
so
part,
let's answer it one after the other.
No, because of time, so they can answer all of them together. The second part is, I don't think we consume more than maybe 50 million or 40 million liters, back and forth in terms of Nigeria today. And with his own capacity, he should be able to satisfy the Nigerian market adequately, besides whatever is coming in. So wherein lies the challenge? Because I'm listening, I'm trying to find out what is the challenge here.
Okay, first of all, we do not have access to dollars to buy products. So that answers your question. The other point is
price.
You have just assumed the size of consumption. We are working very diligently, in petrol at least, because we have a lot of people who buy product from us. So we are working very hard to also get our own database. And so we introduce what is called PCAC premise. Petrol Quality Assurance, Quality Control, Price Intelligence Monitoring System. And this is going to be helping us consistently to even help the Nigerian consumption database. So we do hope that at some point that our government...
So we don't know how many we're consuming, is that what you're saying?
It's just not possible for you to know if you don't have the data.
How can we not know what we're consuming, Mr. Gillis-Harry?
There's no way. Look, listen.
It's not that difficult.
No, it is.
No, it is not.
So let me explain to you. If I buy, you are a depot owner, and I buy from you 1 million liters. She's a refinery owner. I buy from her 5 million liters. He is a trader. I buy from him 1 million liters. How many days does it take for that to be sold? But we bought it one day. So the only way you get that accurate report is to be able to balance the purchases and then the consumption. Now, we don't have that.
Even NMDPR doesn't have that?
NMDPR, we have that because they have every single product that is lifted out of that place. But the consumption per day has not been established, because you have to be able to establish that size of product that was bought. Was it consumed? Did it get finished? Is it in the tank?
We're totally out of time. The question is, what is the problem?
The problem today is that we want Dangote to work with us in a way that will progress his business and progress us and to the advantage of Nigerians. If we are asked to pay dollars for product in Nigeria, we are dollarizing the economy, and we don't print dollars here. We're a Naira economy, and we should promote and strengthen our Naira. We in Petron will continue to buy from wherever source we have. For instance, in 6 days, no product has been lifted. Is there any queue? So you should ask yourself.
So where are you lifting from? Why are you buying
perhaps
from?
that's why they're saying that the only reason we're having this row yet again is because of the challenge in the Strait of Hormuz, that the petrol importers had found their way importing petrol into the Nigerian market, and you're only holding Dangote to the jugular now because you've now found difficulty with importation.
No, that's
true. Why I asked what happened to the petrol import licenses that marketers were advocating for.
You can check your import records if there are PMS that have come into this country, because you have to have an import license to come, and the import licenses that have been given since have not been renewed. Don't forget that there is a case that is in court, and we are talking about the benefit of Nigeria. So even that case should have been discharged and to the favor of the Nigerian public. So the fact is, when product is in any receptacle, any responsible petroleum product retail outlet owner will not want to hold it. We want to sell. And that is why you are still having problems.
But in the past 6 days, there have been no
at a time.
scarcity. You said, but in the past 6 days,
telling
Dangote
you.
has not
So
sold. There have been no
because there is
scarcity.
product-
So there's active importation going on.
No. There's no. You cannot import product by smuggling. Every single liter of product you import must go through documented source, and there are so many levels of that documentation.
Mr. Gillis-Harry, we're totally out of time. It's an engaging conversation. It never ends. We just want products. We want it to be affordable. We don't care how, at this point, I don't know. We just want affordable products. We are happy that we are not in the space of availability. Yes. But we wish we can continue with you. But thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We hope that the refinery will come and give you all perspective.
Everything will be resolved and Nigeria will come back and work well. We believe that Dangote is patriotic and he's only protecting his business. So somehow we will also come to understand that there are certain processes in business that help you instead of,
thank you. Gillis-Harry is the president of Petron. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll take a break. And when we come back after this break, well, we're still hoping that we'll buy fuel cheaper or more affordable. We'll be back to talk about Nigeria is not mincing words anymore. Our vice president representing the president was at the ECOWAS summit and made a very straight statement about joining forces with Ghana to talk to AU about the Afrophobia. This is the first time I'm hearing government using that word against Africans in South Africa. We'll bring in a diplomat to help us make sense of that conversation. Stay with us.